There is no particular provision, Your Honor, but there is also a provision there that in case that states that in case of violation, the offending party may be proceeded against as an election offense case, Your Honor.
As an election offense. Anyway, balik lang ako doon, Atty. Tingin mo po, as of now, ano pong mga possible na pwedeng amendments for review doon po sa case na to? Kasi, in record, if it is correct that was stated by Congressman Paulo Ortega, maximum po, 9% lang. Pero in this case, 44. Eh talaga nakakapagduda. Kahit naman siguro sinong tanungin mo, ano yung mga possible legislative remedy natin dyan na pwedeng gawin?
Mr. Chair, actually in Republic Act 8189, there is a provision there which states that the election officer can visit the house, can have a house-to-house visit to really determine if the person applying for registration is a resident of that particular house. So our field officials are also required to have that house visitation in case there is a doubt as to the residence of a particular applicant, Mr. Chair.
Kailangan, we're talking about thousands of,
Usually po kasi, pag may mga ganyan, ang ginagamit nilang address, yung isa lang. Maraming applicants doon na isang address. In that case, red flag na po yun dapat sa amin na isang address lang pero mga 20 or 30 applicants yung gumagamit nun.
Yeah, tama po. Oh, now, Comelec, si Atty. Ulano na mismo nagsabi, Comelec from the 1st District of Cagayan. Sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Wala ba kayo nakitang ganon?
Wala naman yung isang address, sir, na maraming tao, sir. Merong compound, sir, but we asked them.
Compound nga eh.
Yun nga, sir, ang sinabi.
As stated by by Atty. Ulano, have you done your part in physical checking of those applicants for registration?
Yes, Your Honor. During the service of summons, Your Honor, pinuntahan talaga.
Service of summons. Ang sinasabi po is, doon po sa, kasi, tingnan mo, sir, ikaw mismo sinabi mo na kanina, siyempre napaglaki. Siyempre magdududa ka ngayon. Now, the only way, based on the statement coming from Atty. Ulano, and you are mandated by law, no? Napuntahan at saka i-check. Now, siguro naman po, kung pinuntahan natin, from the start, baka po natigil. Di ba kasi ano na yun maalarma na yung mga iba pang mga gustong, di ba, gustong lumipat for whatever purpose, whatever reason. Di ba sir, kasi kaduda-duda to eh. Itong 44%, at yun rin dapat ginawa nyo. And mismo kay Atty. Ulano galing yun statement that you are mandated to check kung may duda kayo. In short, wala kayong duda nung may influx na ng registration during the time?
During the first, first registration period, wala pong opposition.
Hindi nga eh.
Oo nga. We would also have the figures, sir.
Sir, I'm not talking about the petition for exclusion. I'm talking about your mandate. And your mandate states, according to Atty. Ulano, pag may duda ang Comelec register, dapat you check it physically. Oh, have you done it?
Your Honor, we do the actual interview in the office because yung kasing requirement natin is lahat ng mga applicants should personally appear before the election officer. Yes, sir.
Alam namin yun. Ang tinatanong ko lang, may duda ka na, mismo sa'yo, nakita mo na ganito kalaki, have you done your mandate to check dun sa mga duda? Possible na possible na may problema. Ay sinasabi mo kanina, pinuntahan ng mga tao mo ng Comelec, doon yung may mga petisyon
Yes.
for exclusion. Ilan lang yun?
7,000 plus po, Your Honor.
O, 7,000 plus? Did you visit the 7,000 plus?
Hindi kakayanin, Your Honor.
O, kaya nga eh. Yung sinasabi ko, ganun eh. Dapat, ako tingin ko dyan, dapat nung first quarter pa lang, nung nakita mo na ganun, dapat may red flag ka na. Diba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oo. Yun lang yung, Mr. Chairman, no? Ako, that's why, this is an investigation, and in the legislation, we have to review the law, particularly itong creation ng ERB, at the same time, yung mandate mismo ng Comelec, at the same time, yung liability ng mga Comelec officials. Yeah, Comelec field office. Dapat malinaw po yun. Kasi in this case, ayun, of course, kung may maghabol doon sa filing sa regular court, kung mag 10,000 lang out of 17,000, they have to spend around 7.5 million. Kalukuhan yun. Diba? Hindi naman ito nangyari na maghabol yung mga alleged o quote-unquote aggrieved party na mag-file kung walang ganitong kamasib. Diba? Nagkataon lang na sa Cagayan de Oro to. Kung sa probinsya namin to, papail ako ng kaso. Papail ako ng kaso. Alam to ni Atty. Ulano. Ba? And if somebody will file a case against you, sir, me personally will support anybody that will file a case against you. Whatever it is, malinaw eh. Ikaw ang opisyal dyan eh. Pasensyahan po tayo dito. Sobra na itong ginawa nyo. 17,000? Maglulukuhan ba tayo dito? 9% lang maximum nyo, tapos 34% sa isang lugar. Alam ko yung Carmen, Barangay Carmen. I was there. 20 years ago siguro. Kilala ko rin yung mayor doon. Dating barangay captain siya. Naging kasama ko pa dito sa Congress. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, that's all as of now. Thank you, Atty. Ulano.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
to add back to ano,
Before that, can I just recognize the Honorable Jervil B. Luistro of the 2nd District of Batangas?
is to add lang, Mr. Chair, for the record, it was also stated by the local Comelec that they have noticed the pattern of migrations migration every quarter, but failed to put it in as remarks to their reports. Pero it was addressed verbally lang po, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
with the permission of Kong Adyong.
Director Mendros, you testified earlier that itong increase ito na 44% is the highest sa inimbestigahan mo, correct?
Yes, sir.
What is the second highest? Anong percentage?
Okay, sir. I think it's Makati, sir.
Ilang percent yung increase?
Around 22%.
Ano?
Second
22.
District of Makati, 22%, sir.
22%.
Yes, sir. If my memory serves me right, sir,
Kalahati lang nung increase ng Cagayan.
I would believe yes, sir.
Diba? And you said that Cagayan de Oro, from your investigation, is the highest so far.
Actually, Barangay Carmen.
Barangay Carmen lang. Itong Makati is the entire city.
Second District, sir.
Second district, the entire district.
Oh, pero in Makati, there is special circumstances there kung bakit may yung decision ng Supreme Court. Oh, sir.
Okay, so exclude that. How about the next highest? Kasi may sembo issue yan, ilang barangays yun.
Yung iba, sir, mababa na eh. Mga,
Just give me a figure. Kasi I want to parang emphasize the sobrang laki ng discrepancy.
Yes, sir. Ito, sabi ko, mataas ito kasi yung iba, mga nasa baba lang, mga 12 pababa.
12% down.
Yes, sir.
Dahil-
Ang mga reklamo doon is more on the certification.
Okay.
Issuance ng certification.
And we're talking about something that is 44% na increase.
Yes, sir.
So I think not only you guys, but also the N Bank should probably take notice of this, that this is too much, no? For one barangay to have a 44% increase is a bit, hindi nga alarming lang dapat ang gamit na word dito, Sobrang daw, di ba? Yeah, disturbing. Very disturbing. No? Again, and Attorney Nagtalon, you testified earlier na there were 1,161 na disapproved. Tama ba?
1,000,
Something.
almost 1,500.
Oh, 1,500 na disapproved. And disapproved nyo to because
Failure to prove residence po.
failure to prove residence.
Tapos yung iba po, hindi nakapagbigay ng additional proof aside from the barangay certificate.
Okay, aside from the barangay certification. But then the registration was made on the premise that the barangay certification was issued by the barangay captain, and the barangay captain presumably knows the residents of his barangay. That is why we take heed sa barangay certifications. Tama po ba?
That is correct, sir.
Now, ano ang liability ng barangay kapitan for issuing barangay certifications which were later turned out to be proven na hindi residents yung nagpa-register doon sa barangay na yun?
It is not within Comelec, Your Honor.
Not within Comelec.
Yes, Your Honor.
So is that not an election offense that I issue a certification to be used primarily for registration of a Comelec voter and have no consequences for it? Attorney Olanyo. Sir.
I think that would be an election offense.
It would be an election offense. What offense would that be, sir?
If I remember it right, there is a provision in BP 881 which states that I think it would mean certifying as to the residence of a particular applicant for registration.
Okay, so can we look for that provision, Mr. Attorney Olanyo? Pag makita mo, balikan mo lang ako. Now, another thing is that the DILG, we should have invited them also, should also be, I think, take heed of this, the happenings of this particular barangay. You have the provision, sir?
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
State the provision for the records.
Section 261Y on registration of voters. Letter Y number 2. Any person who knowingly makes any false or untruthful statement relative to any of the data or information required in the application for registration.
Okay, so it's an election offense. It's 1,500 of which were disapproved because it used or they were unable to prove the residence. And the residence was supposedly based on the certification issued by the barangay chairman. Correct po?
Yes, Mr.
Now,
Chair.
can this not be initiated motu proprio by the Comelec?
Yes, the Comelec and motu proprio file a case.
So, Comelec can motu proprio file a case based on this provision.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Now, Director Mendros, did you make this recommendation to the Comelec and Bank?
Yes, sir.
You did?
It's already approved by the Comelec Bank. One of the recommendations that to direct the law department to conduct preliminary investigations on possible violations of BP 881 and Republic Act 8189 against the punong barangay who issued the certification, which was the basis for the yung mga barangay certification na dinis-approve ng election registration.
Yung dinis-approve pa lang, ha?
Yes, sir, kasi yun ang
8,000, 7,000 more na basis din barangay certification.
Purposes ng conduct ng investigation, yun ho ang may klaro kami.
Klaruhin ko lang to kasi baka may nakikinig ngayon na sabihin lang, just 1,500 out of this. But it's just 1,500 that were opposed. Di ba? There were 7,000 barangay certifications that were issued that were unopposed. Tama ba? So, posible pa na mas dadami pa to kasi hindi nga inoppose itong other persons who just issued the barangay certification. Tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Now, if there was already 1,500 that were disapproved based on the 1,600 that were filed, mataas din siguro ang percentage ng 7,000 more that will be also disapproved.
if you look at it proportionately. Di ba?
It's possible, sir.
Possible. Okay. Now, when did the Comelec and Bank direct the law department to conduct preliminary investigation?
I have no information.
Okay, can you
sir,
check
but
on that?
we already forwarded to the law department the recommendations.
Can you check on that and inform this committee on the updates as to what the law department has done on the recommendations of the Comelec and Bank to initiate charges against
Yes,
this
sir.
offending officer?
One thing is sure, we have also, the law department also have forwarded the copy of the in-bank resolution together with the report of the task force to the DILG.
Okay, the DILG. No, wala kasing DILG dito. I want to talk to the DILG dito.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
There's actually a certification from the DILG as regards the certifications issued. I think we provided you a copy.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just go with. Thank you again, Mr. Chair.
So, kung Zia,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Mayong buntag, inyong tanan. Mr. Chair, before I ask a few questions, there seems to be a problem with the barangay residency, no? Yung certificate of residency. In fact, Mr. Chair, this was already intimated to me by Chairman George na he's actually proposing for an amendment. Certain policies and certain laws because this might used arbitrarily and might be exploited to an extent that we may have or we may face another problem similar to this na mas worse pa, no? I think the point that I gather from the exchanges among our members and our guests is that there seems to be a statistical anomaly which to a common person, a common average mind, masasabi niya mukhang sobra. But we would like to dig deeper into that kung why it has reached a certain point where all of us agree, even Comelec would say na medyo sumobra. Sabi nga ni Congressman Jinky, it's no longer alarming, it's really disturbing. And I believe, Mr. Chair, this is just scratching the surface eh. Kasi I don't believe that Cagayan de Oro, this problem is endemic to Cagayan de Oro alone. I think this is happening all over the country. This might be a specific case, introduced to us by a particular member of this committee, but this is not limited. This is all. I think this is widespread, no? And this may, if we don't act on this might create a wide opportunity, no, for others who may exploit the issuance of this barangay residency. So I'd like to go back on that. Kasi nag-umpisa na po kayo bago ako pumasok. I just want to ask Comelec, anybody from Comelec, do I get it right, Brad, Attorney Elanio, that for a person to transfer his registration or apply for a registration in a particular barangay, he may or she may only require to submit to Comelec a certificate of residency issued by the barangay chairman and no other else?
There are other proof of certificate of residence required. Minsan po, nire-require namin ng mga election officers yung billing statement ng Meralco or kaya ng utilities para talagang to determine if that particular transferee is really has really a residence in a particular barangay.
So in the case of the spike of 44% of the total registered voters in Carmen, gusto kong tanungin ang kay attorney, what other documents have you followed through, complied with all the requirements that you requested for each of these individual applicants for registration before you attest, for example, or approve their application, evidences that they have provided to you apart from the resident certificate from the barangay chairman?
The barangay certification, Your Honor, is only one of the documents that we require. We require from them national ID if they have, or any other government-issued ID, proof of billing for electric, water, and mobile telco, to that they are really residents.
So there's no way for the city Comelec, your local Comelec, to verify whether this proof of attached documents to prove the residency in a particular barangay as issued by the barangay chairman is indeed correct and true.
Your Honor, we rely on primarily on the application for registration because that is under oath, and that we remind the applicants that they are required to state the truth in the entries in the application forms that they are filing with our office.
So makatuwid, you rely solely on the presumption that the barangay certificate as issued by the barangay chairman is true and correct.
We do an initial interview, Your Honor, before we issue the application form to determine, and the particular applicant will have to answer the interviewer in our office.
So are you telling this committee that you have interviewed, talked with all of the 8,000 applicants in Barangay Carmen?
Yes, Your Honor. That
If
is-
we request for a document to prove that, can you provide this to the committee? Are you confident that you can provide that to this committee?
we conduct personal interview with all.
Yeah, but can you, if we request for a document proving, for example, that you indeed have complied with all the requirements, attesting or verifying that the billings as a requirement to prove their barangay certificate residency is indeed true and correct. If we request for these documents that you have indeed complied with individually with all the others, you can confidently furnish this copy of the document.
These are oral interviews, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Chair, so basically what you're saying to this committee is that you're relying on the veracity of the documents that they have sworn before you, attesting that all the residence certificate of residency is issued by the barangay chairman with an attachment proving that they're indeed residents of that barangay is true and correct.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now it boils down to the issue of the barangay chairman's discretion. Is it correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so let me go, Mr. Chair, to wala ho tayong anybody from the barangay.
We have the representative from the barangay, Attorney Genioso.
Attorney, I presume you're a resident of Barangay Carmen.
Your Honor, I'm not a barangay criminal, but I am the council of.
Oh, you're a council. So you're not from the barangay itself.
No, Your Honor.
Who do you represent?
PB Joaquin Oy, Your Honor.
Sino po?
Unang barangay ka.
Is he here?
Yes, he's not here.
Siya yung representative. The representative is the lawyer.
Okay. I don't think he's confident to answer my questions. The information that I would like to gather from this committee hearing is parang detailed in data from the barangay. Are you competent to answer me? If I ask you how many residents are there in Carmen, would you give us a specific number?
I may not answer that, Your Honor.
Exactly. I wonder why the lawyer is here instead of our invited guest. Do we allow that, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, to interject lang, it was stated by the representative of our punong barangay that there was a demolition. May demolition po ngayon, di ba, attorney?
Yes, that was the information that was given to me by Punong Barangay Oy, Your Honor.
Do you have the letter?
Yes, Your Honor. I have the letter.
Demolition of what?
Please submit the letter.
Demolition of what? Unregistered construction of facility? Illegal? What kind of demolition?
It pertains to the project drainage system, Your Honor. The affected residents by the
Anyway,
project,
that's not the. May I ask Attorney Roy Raagas, City Administrator? Sir, maing buntag.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and honorable members of this committee. Good morning.
Mr. Chair, do you have a record of all the record of your barangays within Cagayan de Oro?
Your
Because I
Honor,
believe the city government and the barangay government, local government, closely work together. Is it correct?
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, unfortunately, I do not have at the moment the exact details of
But would you know? Like, I'll ask you a general question, po. Would you know what's the internal revenue allotment share of Barangay Carmen? Ano po yung magkano po yung natatanggap nila? Would you know that?
I do not have any specific figure for that, Your Honor. The treasurer would be.
Do we have the treasury here, Mr. Chair? No.
And even only the OIC Human Resource Management Office was invited. And actually a lawyer, are you likewise from the Human Resource Management Office?
I am from the local government unit of Cagayan de Oro City, Your Honor. So I work closely with the OICHR. Are you competent to if I ask you status of Barangay Carmen, financial status, population, etc.? Unfortunately, no, Mr. Chair. So, okay, let me ask you this. Do you know how much IRA does Barangay Carmen receive as part of their share? I don't think it is within the scope of functions of the Human Resource Department of the LGU, Your Honor, to... Okay, Mr. Chair. Yeah,
With the indulgence of Congressman Zia,
yeah, please.
this is related to the query asked by Congressman Zia, Mr. Chairman. Attorney, yung sa Human Resource, what is your specific designation sa Human Resource?
I am under the City Mayor's office, Your Honor.
And what is your designation?
I am under the legal team of the City Mayor's
Hindi
office,
nga,
Your Honor.
tatanungin kita, are you the legal officer of the mayor?
No, Your Honor.
Are you employed the city of Cagayan de Oro?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anong status mo doon? Ano ka? Executive assistant? Ano ka doon?
I am an employee of the...
Ano nga ang designation mo sa employee?
I am a supervising administrative officer, Your Honor.
At supervisor administrative officer.
Yes, Your Honor. But because the current designation of the Human Resource Officer, Your Honor, is also the Secretary to the Mayor. So we are working closely together, Your Honor. So
But the invited person here is the Human Resource.
Yes, Your Honor.
Also,
Who is the same person with them.
Why is not present today?
She is currently indisposed, Your Honor.
Why?
I do not know the exact details of the medical
Do you have
condition.
a document that will prove that he will be excused or she will be excused?
I do not have a copy of the
Also,
medical
Mr.
certificate,
Chairman,
Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, you don't have the document being requested, everything required by this committee. In every inquiry in ADB situation, all resource persons should have a letter of excuse, and it's up to the committee to judge if indeed the excuse letter is acceptable or not. Since you don't have the letter, Mr. Chairman, since this is not siguro hindi naman tong first and the last, I move to issue a show cause order for that Human Resource Development Officer.
Is there any objection? There being none, show cause order to Miss Sailin Faith B. Lumbatan, the OIC Human Resource Management Officer of the Cagayan de Oro City local government unit.
Mr. Chair, next, Mr. Chair, Attorney Palan? Attorney
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have an authority?
According to the invitation, Your Honor, we received the information that the invited resource person may send a representative and may send a position paper
But
to
you, do
confirm
you
the-
have, what I'm asking, Attorney, wag ka mag-lawyer dito. Do you have an authority coming from your principal to represent?
I
Look it up.
I do not have.
So you know that, Mr. Chairman, let us excuse the good attorney because he don't have the authority.
But before we,
That is the protocol of every inquiry in aid of legislation. Sorry po. I
thank you,
want to excuse Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chair.
good attorney. Sorry po. You don't have the authority.
Hey, before you leave the room, I don't contest the motion of Manong Chairman Paduano. In fact, I will second it. But before you leave Who do you represent again? Sorry kasi medyo paspas kaay mo storya ba si Manong Karaps? Alam ko na. Who do you represent again? What
The OIC Human Resource Management Officer, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think I agree with Manong Karaps. I think do you think as a lawyer it's rudimentary arrangement that before you represent someone, you should have at least know the reason why he or she is not attending?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you're telling us you do not know the reason why she sent you instead of her coming here and joining us.
I was informed, Your Honor, that she is currently indisposed. But as to the details of her medical condition, I was not.
We do not know if that's correct because you do not even have a authority to represent.
I was only informed.
Please. There was an email which was emailed to us, I think yesterday, at 11:28 a.m. From Silent Faith Lumbatan. This is to confirm the attendance of my representative, Attorney Spencer P. Palen, to your invitation to attend the regular meeting of the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms on January 28, 2025, Tuesday, particularly in the initial deliberation of HR number 2021 on the highly irregular increase of the newly registered voters in Barangay Carmen, Cagayan de Oro City, Samis Oriental. They likewise submitted their position paper. I think the good attorney was not informed by his principal.
Okay. Now, Mr. Chairman, ganito po. Attorney, may official letter to designate you as the representative.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Kanina kasi tinanong kita, wala kang dala.
I was expecting that you will ask me for a special power of attorney, Your Honor.
Ano? Bakit special power of attorney? Ikaw ba
To
naman?
represent her.
Authority lang to represent her. Now, Mr. Chairman, that's why, Mr. Chairman, since my motion to excuse attorney was not yet seconded, I withdraw my motion. Okay? Now, attorney, you can stay. Now, but my motion to issue a show cause order still stands. Why? Because he has just sent a letter designating Attorney Pallet to represent her without any letter of excuse and attached. If the reason why he's not present in today's hearing is correct, coming from attorney, that he is indisposed as of this moment, Mr. Chairman, supposedly, if he has an excuse, she has an excuse letter, she should attach a medical certificate. Now, without those documents, Mr. Chairman, my motion to issue a cause order for the said official still stands.
Yes, we already ruled on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now,
That will issue show cause order to attorney. Silent Faith Lumbatan.
Anyway, last na kasi I have to leave. Mr. Chairman, babalik lang ako. I have to leave because pupunta ako sa speaker's office. Now, second,